What happened in the month of May in Edmonton's real estate housing market? Well, we're going to talk about that in this video. So what happened in May? May is usually the busiest time of year, and that doesn't matter what is going on in the world, but we noticed that this May was actually one of the more quieter Mays than we've ever had before. If you take a look at the average single family home price in Edmonton, you'll see it's just under 500,000. Not a huge change in terms of pricing. And now, why is the pricing staying similar and not going up and down? Or, last year we saw it spike up like crazy. When the inventory is low, inventory being houses not having enough homes for sale and having a high demand of buyers, you're in a seller's market, the prices start to go higher and higher and higher because you're in multiple offers, people are overbidding. When you're seeing the average price stay very similar month over month, it has a lot to do with the fact that there's not as much demand, which is very weird in a spring market because typically we see a little bit of an influx and we didn't see that. There's not as many buyers jumping and going as quickly. They're also not overpaying for properties anymore. Huge reason, it's the interest rates. The interest rates weren't even projected to continue to change, and now as we record this at early June, they just went up again. They weren't even supposed to go up they weren't even supposed to go up anymore. They were supposed to potentially go down by the end of the year, but here we go again on this ride. So this is affecting buyers' confidence in terms of what they can purchase, what they can afford, and so it's not creating that demand. So even though we have a low inventory level, the demand is still not that high. So if you take a look at the average price of a semi-detached, which is a half duplex, or a attached or row house, townhouse, you'll take a look at those average prices. That price point is actually one of the most popular price points we're seeing this year. Again, because of the interest rates being as high as they are, people's affordability level has actually dropped. So if they were looking at 400 to 500 before, they're down about 300 to 400, and we're finding people wanting to find homes under 300 and under 400. Now, under 300,000, it's really hard to find homes without condo fees. Under 400, you will find homes without condo fees, but you're not going to get the house that you thought you were going to get. Your money is taking you a little less than it used to. However, to get into the real estate market, you do need to get what you can get and build up that equity to then buy that next home that you want. So if you just keep waiting and waiting, it's going to be a lot harder to enter into the real estate market. So we take a look at the new listings in May. We did see an influx from the previous month in April. We saw more listings coming on the market, which is no surprise because like I said, spring is usually when people are putting their homes to the market. So March, April, May, we see that increase in the amount of listings. However, if you look at compared to last year, we definitely had a lot less. Now last year at this time, we were starting to see the market start to slow down in June, July, and August. And so the May and to May is gonna be very contrasting because last May was a lot busier than it was this May. So let's take a look at the sales for the month of May. We saw 1,809 properties sell, which is an increase from the month before. So we did see more sales in May than we did in April, and that's no big surprise. That's actually quite typical. But if you look at it from year to year, we have dropped, and that decrease is quite a big drop. It's 6% change, and that's why we're also seeing the pricing be so different. Sellers thinking, why can't we get prices from last year? The market just isn't what it was last year. With all the different factors, you have to understand there's a new market value. Now, the interesting thing about this year, this entire year, we've brought back predictability to the real estate market. Now I can actually tell you what things are worth and be confident with it, whereas last year and the years before, the market changed every 5 minutes it seemed, and we couldn't tell you what the average home price would be or what your sale price would be because things kept changing. We are seeing a stable market in terms of pricing, and as the interest rates should continue to stay where they are, it'll continue to provide that stability. If it continues to increase, we're gonna probably see a drop in pricing because the market just can't get that demand and the pricing will start to continue to drop. So if the interest rates go up, typically the prices go down. When the interest rates come down, now they're not gonna come down to like sub 2% ever again. I don't even know if they're gonna go under 3 or 4% to be honest. But when we start to see the interest rates go down, you'll start to see more demand and the prices will then increase. So you have to make sure you understand what is your specific situation right now. Are you looking to sell and buy? What does that all look like? Because what you sell for and what you buy for, they're all tied together. You're buying and selling in the same market. So if you look at the average days on market for single family detached homes, you'll see it's almost double of what it took last year to sell. So definitely it takes a lot longer to sell a home this year than last year. It also means it's more competitive. It doesn't mean it can't sell quickly and right away. It means that you cannot play with the price and try to aggressively push higher. You also have to make sure that all the things are done in your home. Make sure that you have it staged. Make sure that all the lights have light bulbs in them. All the little details. Make sure your home shows really well. Because even when the home shows well, and it's not priced well, it's not gonna go anywhere. Even if it's priced well and it shows well, people are still not rushing to buy. So we wanna create that sense of urgency. And you're gonna do that if there's a lot more people coming in and your price is maybe not even market, but just slightly under to get that activity in. So for the month of May, it was still a steady, strong market from the month before. It's not the same market as it was last year. That's what I've been saying all this year. And I know that in June and July, the summer months in Edmonton, we typically get a bit quieter. Properties are still moving in the summer. And I think because we've had a little bit of a slower start this year, we're still gonna see some consistent sales for June and July. But as people go back to school, get ready for fall and think about the routine, I do suspect we're going to see a little bit more of a slowdown. If the interest rates continue to rise, that's also going to affect the market as well. So you want to take that into consideration. This year's market is definitely adjusting itself back to Edmonton's kind of normal market. So if you're thinking, I'm just going to wait till my house increases in price, you're going to be waiting a while. Edmonton's typical home price equity increase is about 1% to 2%, and that's probably what we're going to see this year. We are not going to see those numbers that we did in the previous years, and on average, we're seeing 8 to 10% decrease in single family homes, again, depending on how they're priced, but looking at the comparables from what they sold in the peak of spring of last year, first half of last year to this year, we are seeing the pricing that was sold in the last half of the year in 2022 be very similar to 2023, nothing too crazy and not a huge change, influx or decrease. If you have questions, as always, you know how to get a hold of me. We're gonna talk to you about all the market in June in the next month, but don't forget to tune in every week when we talk to you about what's happening in Edmonton's local market in the surrounding areas, St. Albert, Spruce Grove, Sherwood Park, and in Edmonton, of course, every Tuesday. Talk soon.